To the Honorable Excellency Secretary of the United Nations, ambassadors and the delegates of all nations to the United Nations, we Thais in America are protesting against Madam Prime Minister Yingluck Shinawat and her government of Thailand for the following reasons. This government is one of the puppets of fugitive, convicted, mega-billionaire terrorist Thaksin Shinawat. Despite her winning the election in mid-2011, there was a lot of electoral fraud and the electoral committee was corrupt. And despite her claim that she is the youngest and the first woman Prime Minister of Thailand, it is well proven that the reason she won was because of her brother's financial and political influence over corrupt Thai politicians. Not only is she foolish, she also lacks experience in solving Thailand's critical problems in all areas. Her last year's excessive promises to offer welfare to the people have not achieved anything but only corrupt repayment to Thaksin's cronies and her own MPs. She leads her government for the sole purpose of laundering her brother Thaksin and his terrorist minions, whose crimes include the most atrocious massacre of over 100 Muslims in the south and 3,000 people murdered during his own term. Additionally, there was the domestic terrorism and rioting that Thaksin fomented from abroad in 2009 and 2010. On leaving Thailand to come to brag here in USA this year and to luxuriously spend the scarce tax money from the sweat of all Thais, Madam Prime Minister Shinawat leaves 1/5 of Thailand drowned in flood. That is on top of the corrupt management of last year's most devastating flood of Thailand when she let over 800 people perish. 6 months ago, she flew out to visit Japan and Korea while leaving millions of her hometown citizens in the north of Thailand asphyxiated in forest fire smoke. As for her claim of being the first female prime minister with huge plans and funds to support women's roles in Thailand, she is actually just corrupting an already overspent budget. The fund is not helping with any underpaid female labor or reducing the sex trade whatsoever. Worst of all, her government and her coalition parties, which are all under the commands of the fugitive convicted terrorist Thaksin, have attempted several times in the past year to launder Thaksin through either a constitutional amendment, passing a reconciliation bill, or a pardon decree. They claim peace and reconciliation at the cost of facts and justice, since all of the worst crimes against humanity in Thai history, terrorism, murder, looting and arson, would be dropped and silenced forever. There would be no investigation to uncover the culprits in the darkest devastation of Thailand. At present, Yingluck's administration facilitates her fugitive, terrorist brother Thaksin to continue roaming the world to instigate his Red Army to support this dirty government of hers. Therefore, we ask the citizens of the world, all nations, the United Nations and the government of the United States to join us in the explicit condemnation of this evil and corrupt puppet Yingluck Shinawat, her government and her brother terrorist Thaksin Shinawat, and for all nations of the world to extradite the fugitive Thaksin Shinawat to receive his jail sentence in Thailand.